Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, students. It's a warm welcome to this week's Principal's Update. It's Friday night. It's still got a little bit light outside, but before I head home for the weekend, I wanted to give you the update on returning to schools. Clearly, there's been a lot of information coming out from the news, from the government this week, both in regards returning to school and also around assessments for the summer for Year 11, 13 and 14. Lots of planning has been going on. I spent all afternoon in planning meetings with senior staff, heads of department, directors and curriculum area leaders, putting together what your assessment process will be between now and the summer. We're in a position now to be able to talk to you about what your assessments will look like, what your lessons will look like, and even down to effectively when your finish date will be at AUEA. I'm not going to cover that now, okay? So it's not in this Principal's Update. It is going to be talked about on Monday. So if you haven't picked up already, there is a Principal's Information Evening on Monday night at 5 o'clock. The link has been circulated around to parents. I'll resend it out again. But if you join by Microsoft Teams. It will pop up and give you a little box that says Join Teams. And then in the corner, it says, all go through your browser. And we highly recommend that you do that and join through your browser process. And then you will see hopefully a presentation from myself, a presentation from Miss Salisbury, specifically about the BTEC and aspects and vocational aspects of the summer's assessments. And then there'll be a Q&A session, and we'll go for as long as you have questions, and you can pose them. They can be personal to you or private, and they come through to us. We'll answer those either privately or publicly. If they're general ones, we'll share that and answer those generally as well. So we hope by the end of Monday, you come away with a really strong understanding about how the summer's assessments will work for Year 11, Year 12, Year 11, Year 13 and 14. So today's Principal's Information Update is around returning to school. And I'm delighted to say that we are welcoming you back to AUEA. We want to get you back in as soon as possible. But as indicated in my letter a few days ago, we can't rush this, and we've got to get this right. We've got to bring in students appropriately and safely, both for the benefit of the other students and also clearly for the benefit of the staff. What we have learned by looking at other countries is if it is rushed, if it's done inappropriately or not done properly, we're in a situation where we'll just find ourselves going back into either lockdown or certainly localized isolations for 10 days at a time, and we cannot afford for that to happen. Now, I know there's been mixed communication around testing, and I wanted to really push the point that we've got a fantastic test centre here. It's been going now for a month really successfully. We've got a fantastic trained provision of staff, and it's worked well. Already it's identified along the way individuals, whether that be student or members of staff, who have come up as positive and have said, I feel fine, I've got nothing wrong with me. And actually, matter of fact, a few days later, have then suddenly gone down with the symptoms of COVID. And the good news is they've been okay. But what the lateral flow test did really effectively was prevent that individual then from spending the next 2 days around the building, interacting with people, potentially touching surfaces. So it really was an important risk mitigation method. So I really, really push and encourage the fact of our test centre as part of our mass testing programme. We will be bringing students back over a phased approach over the upcoming weeks from the 8th of March. I'm going to take you through that programme in a moment. After that, within the email, I'll send you a copy of it so you will see. Through the programme, you'll see that there's 3 tests that have to be done within the school before you'll see the government's new advice. Obviously, you're doing it at home, and they've made some amendments to that, which is good. So you'll come in for your first test within the academy. You'll come in and do a test day where you come into school, you have your test, and then you will go home afterwards. That's test day number 1. You are then able to come back to school from the subsequent day onwards. And again, I'll explain that now as I open up the programme. Hopefully it'll make a bit more sense as I talk over it. So I'm just going to share the plan with you. Hopefully it'll appear on your screens, and I'll zoom in a little bit, and you can see it goes across the top from all the year groups. You should be able to find whether year 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through. Please do keep a note out for the colleges underneath, and if you can't remember your colleges, think around the first letter of your tutor group, and that will tell you which college you're in. That's really important because year 9 will be tested and coming back by class, but all of the year ones will be doing it by their college base. And you'll see that actually when we get to year 13 and 14, the split is slightly different. We actually see Hounsfield and Lanchester together and Shilling and Whittle split out. And that's purely because of the numbers of how we work on a few of the days. So let me have a little zoom in here for you and show you what's going on, and hopefully it will make sense. I'm going to start over here with the students. And clearly, as discussed previously, we have to focus on bringing back our year 11 and 13 groups first because of their short space of time before their final assessments and new teacher assessed grades for this year's exams. So for year 11, if we follow it through, what we've got going on here is we've got year groups, all of year groups coming in one go, all of the Hounsfield, Lanchester and Shilling Whittle colleges in year 11. So all year 11 students will be that week, and this is obviously next week, first of all, will be on remote learning and live lessons as normal through. On the 5th of March, Friday the 5th of March, there won't be any live learning and live lessons that day. What will happen on that day instead, there'll be independent tasks set for you and a chance to consolidate and bring together your home learning that you did up until this point of being off since Christmas. That means then on Monday the 8th of March, okay, you will be coming in and the first students coming in for the COVID test day. That means there'll be throughout the day, there'll be periods of time for you to come in, and I'm not going to go through that now individually, but I will share that with you at the start of next week what your exact time is. So you will know as a Hounsfield, for example, Hounsfield 9 o'clock, you must arrive for 9 o'clock for your test between 9 and a set time. Then you will go home. Following that, Lanchester will come in, follow that Shilling and follow that Whittle. And that allows us safely to take you through the very first time of doing it, to show you how to do it and to start training you in how you do it at home. Following on from that, then if we look across, we'll see Tuesday the 9th of March, you are then in school in your normal timetable. That carries on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, you will have your second COVID test. But you do this within school. So you'll come out of your lessons, you'll have your COVID test, and you will go back to your normal lessons. So you are in the blue and you remain in the blue as we carry on through. And then you'll see the third test kicks in on Friday the 19th. And then you remain on your school timetable then, taking you through to Easter. And on Monday, we'll talk to you a little bit more around what's happening then around your examinations and assessments, and also into your finish time. If we look across at year 13, again, the next year group coming in, we will see that we've got remote learning and live lessons all of next week from the 1st. And the following week, again, we've all the way through, we've got Monday and Tuesday, but we've then got Wednesday and Thursday, we've got different groups coming in. So we've got on the Tuesday, which is the 9th, we've got Hounsfield and year 13 and 14 and Lanchester year 13 and 14 coming in for their first test day. And then on the next day, which is the Wednesday, we see the Shilling come in and Whittle come in for their test day. And again, every single white box test day, you come in and you go home straight after your slot. You then move on to your normal school timetable. You'll be coming to school every day from that point onwards, and your following test then will be done in school and coming out of your lessons. Again, it may well be that you haven't got a lesson that period. You will need to get to that test centre that day and have your test done and signed off, please. And again, you continue on your timetable through, find your third test, and then you're into, after that point, you're into your normal school timetable and home testing, and we'll be training you on how to do those home testing as well. And exactly the same follows through for the other year groups. You'll see from year 10 then come in, and it follows all the way through, and they come in on Friday the 12th, and then it comes down until year 9 on Friday the 19th. Now, the first question might be, why are year 9 not coming in until that whole week later? That's not something we want to try and do. We want to bring in year 9 as soon as possible, as soon as it's safe to do so. But we are required to undertake the second tests of the students within 3 to 5 days of their first test. Therefore, there is no way we can bring the year 9 any earlier. Your remote learning and live lessons will continue as normal right up until Friday the 19th. Again, year 9 will come in on that day just for their test, and then they will start back at school on their normal timetable on Monday the 22nd of March. They will then follow through. You can see they've got their second test happening on Tuesday, third test on the 29th, and then it's their normal 2 weeks of school prior to Easter. So that information has been shared by email. It's going to be sent to students as well. And on our website, on the COVID pages, we'll keep an update of that, as well as the specific details of what times each student should come in on that day. So on the Year 11 day, when should Hounsfield arrive, when should Lancaster arrive, Shilling and Whittle. As always, if you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me via my principalpa@auea.co.uk email address or via phone, and I will come and answer those. But please, we're looking for that support of students to go through. We'll be circulating, sending out with you now the COVID the COVID test LFT permission slip, consent slip, that will be coming out for students under the age of 18, and obviously students over the age of 18 can self-certify in school as well. So we're circulating that form to you as well. Thank you very much for your time on this Principals Update. I look forward to hopefully seeing you in person very soon and updating you in the future. And most importantly, is catching up with Year 11, 13 and 14 parents and students on Monday at 5 o'clock in the Principals Information Evening. Have a great weekend. Take care. Thank you.